man. Companies are still laying off people, and we're going to talk about Salesforce because they've gone through some recent layoffs as well. Salesforce has gone through some recent layoffs as well as Microsoft. We're going to talk about both of these companies because these are really good companies. And if you were to think about, you getting into the tech space. I had a conversation with a gentleman the other day. He was like, Antoine, I want to work for some of the larger companies and so forth in the tech space. And, you have any ideas? And he brought up Microsoft and Google and all these fine companies and so forth. And I just said, hey, do you really want to go to Harvard? Is Harvard for you? And I said that, using a synonym or this a thought of, working for these FANG companies are very similar to like going to a elite university, okay? What is up, Ladder Climbers? I wanted to interrupt this video to talk about coaching. Yes, you need a career coach. Why do you need a career coach? Why? Because the job market is always changing. And with the job market always changing, you need to have the latest and greatest information in order for you to apply and get the job that you want. Number two, you need confidence and clarity. There's so many jobs out there. There's so many positions out there, whether you want to switch into tech or healthcare. There's so much out there. And with so much information, you need to be able to have clarity on what it is that you really want to do and ultimately have the confidence to do so. And number three, you need to be able to sell yourself, guys. You really need to be able to sell yourself. And a lot of times we come in with a whole bunch of humility. Well, when you're approaching a new job and seeking a new job, you need to be able to sell yourself. So guys, go ahead and book your coaching session today. www.bokheights.com. Again, www.bokheights.com. Elite University, you're going to get paid a lot of money. You're going to have a nice badge of honor that you can have on your resume. You're going to work with some super smart people. But is it for you? Is it for you? Is working for a company that has over 300,000 employees for you if you are looking to excel within your career? Can you stand out in front of that many people? Can you stand out? Especially if you want to climb the ladder. You got to think about that when you're ladder climbing. You got to think about that when you want to get to certain positions and get to this money. Is a company that size right for you? Those are questions that I want you guys to think about. And let's do this real quick. I'm going to switch over. Salesforce. Salesforce follows other tech giants with layoffs and hiring freezes. Okay? This is an article about Insights or Dice.com talking about Salesforce and their layoffs. Okay? Salesforce instituted layoffs and a hiring freeze according to the protocol. At least 90 employees were impacted by this round of layoffs, which represented a tiny fraction of the cloud giant's 78,000 employees globally. That's a lot of people, guys. That is a lot of people. Salesforce has 78,000 employees globally. Is that the right company culture for you? For some of you, absolutely. Some of us went to these large universities where we were one of 100,000, whatever it is. And maybe that works for you, right? You can find your way. But for some people, smaller schools are better. For some people, smaller companies are better as well. But they laid off 90 employees, or at least 90 employees, could be a lot more. And they're talking about limiting hiring. And most departments already this year have already reached their hiring goals for the fiscal year. And what they're saying is they are ending contracts for temporary recruiters. I said something in a video the other day about roles that exist out there in the tech space. And one of them is that of a recruiter. Love technical recruiters. They do a fantastic job. Good brother of ours, brother Ken, works for, the illustrious Microsoft. He's at Harvard doing a fantastic job, has had a lot of career success. And he's a full-time employee though, okay? But for contractors, guys, you gotta think about this. Your work could be cut short, especially around this economy. If companies like Salesforce and Microsoft are saying that they've hit their hiring targets for the fiscal year, there's no more work for you to do. There's no more work for you to do at that company. So what happens? Your contract's terminated. Now you gotta find another role. And you already know if we're going towards a recession, if 60% of employers or CEOs are saying that 2023 is going to be terrible, right? And these aren't some dummies. These are smart people, right? You're talking about people like, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. No matter what we think about these people, right? You can have your own opinion. But ultimately, they're smart individuals. They're making changes every single day. They're helping other individuals out every single day. They're changing the world. They're some pretty smart people. And if they're saying that there's going to be a recession in 2023 and there could be some bad times ahead, and these companies are already starting to put hiring freezes on, it's going to be pretty bad for technical recruiters. Might be an opportunity for you to start looking into a different career track, okay? Especially if you're at the contractor level. Maybe look at sales. Maybe look at development. Maybe look at HR, whatever it is. Consider a career change if you're consistently getting impacted because of hiring freezes, layoffs, because what potentially may happen in 2023, okay? The current layoffs won't impact nearly as many as the last round of the August 2020 layoffs that they did when the company laid off 1,000 employees as part of their repositioning of the workforce. But they're saying that their hiring freezes right now is going to extend through January 2023. Okay. Other tech giants have been cutting other tech giants have been cutting their staff lately as well. Microsoft, we already talked about that, but they just unleashed some layoffs as well in what they termed as a structural adjustment. And those cuts totaled to be 1,000 workers. 1,000 workers. Intel is also reportedly contemplating the same thing with thousands of layoffs. Okay. Even as these companies trim staff and institute hiring freezes, the tech giants continue to pay their professional employees a significant compensation. Why? Why? And this is the reason why I'm always telling you guys to get into tech. As much of this is driven by the need to retain their best and brightest workers, especially with the other companies constantly on the hunt for unique talent. So tech is going to pay you a lot of money if you have the skills and you are a fantastic employee. At the end of the day, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and so forth. It's up to you. You have to have the skills. You got to be like a brother Malik, who's constantly getting certifications and head down and learning. You got to be like a brother Marvin, a brother Damien, who's in his chat, who's constantly looking at ways so that he can climb the ladder at companies like Dell, getting 43% raises and already looking for his next opportunity to get into the sales organization because he's working with the sales folks now. And he knows that he can do the job. And he knows that he can make hundreds of thousands of dollars more. You have to have your head down. You have to be visible. Your head down in learning and developing skills. Visible as in getting the work done, getting the results, and talking about it. Sharing your story with other individuals. Putting yourself out there. Working with other people in other cross-functional areas. You have to do that. Otherwise, you're going to be one of the ones, if you just keep your head down, not stay visible, not brag on yourself, not get results, you're going to be one of the ones that's going to be laid off. That's what's going to happen, guys. I've had the question, somebody asked me a question this week and said, Antoine, hey, you know what, with the recession, everybody's talking about it, right? Everybody's talking about it. Is it a good time to transition right now? And I said this, the winners are going to win, the losers are going to lose. At the end of the day, the winners are going to win. Winners always find out a way to win. Now, I know that sounds a bit out there, right? But ultimately, if you are a person that knows how to get results, make the career transition. If you are a person that is already in a role and you're just mediocre, well, you're going to be mediocre there too. If you're mediocre there, now is probably not the time to go there because they're going to be looking at who's made an impact over the last couple months. Say, for instance, you decided you want to go to a new company. You're a mediocre employee at the company that you're at right now. You decide you want to go to another company because it's going to give you a 10% bump, but you're still mediocre. Now, recession, they're going to be looking back and say, okay, well, what has this woman or man contributed over the last 6 months? Not much. We're going to let you go, okay? You might as well stay put. But if you are a high performer, go. Make the transition. Brother Ben, high performer. Made the transition, 30%. Go and do it. Have fun. Put yourself out there to the market. Get to the money. Get to the money. But if you're mediocre, below average, you might want to stay put. Stay put. But you also should book a coaching session with me so that you're not at risk at the company that you're at right now. Because you don't have that visibility. Nobody knows what you do. You're at risk. And the last thing you want to be worried about next year is not having a paycheck coming in, especially if you have a family. The last thing you want to worry about is not having savings, especially if you have a family. Book a coaching session, www.bokheights.com, okay? But two big tech companies, guys, layoffs, hiring freezes until 2023 to see how things shake out. Salesforce, Microsoft. These are tech companies that did absolutely well during the 2020, 2022, 2021, 2020. They did absolutely fantastic. Profits, revenue, highest it's ever been. They're bracing for the impact. They're cutting fat. They're saying, let's tighten up just a little bit. Who are we going to let go? We're going to let go the people who are low average, D's, C's, people who aren't contributing, people who we know that are here, but we don't know that they're here. To become visible, guys, a lot of work that you need to put in. If you don't know what it is that you need to do, book a coaching session with me, okay? All right, we're done with that one.